Oh, come on. Give me some water. Right into your little bed, buddy. All right, we got a few people signed into the chat. I appreciate y'all coming out this evening. Hit up the chat if you got a question or something you want to know a little something about. If I don't know about it, hopefully someone in the chat will. So keep your eye on the chat too. Don't listen to me. Keep your eye on the chat because a lot of answers come in the chat too. All right, what's going on, Joe? Thanks for tuning in, brother. I appreciate it. We'll give people another minute or two, and then we'll get right into me yapping my gums a little bit about shake and bake, and then we'll go to the chat and answer people's questions. Hopefully. Let's go ahead and get this going. But definitely before AJ, I was just about to say that. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. So if I forget to do it at the end of the video, I'm going to do it now. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Have a great weekend. Be safe. There's going to be a lot of people out there traveling. There's always a lot of people traveling on Thanksgiving on this weekend. So just be careful driving. Take your time, and don't be over aggressive. Can I fix your VVT cam? I don't think so, Bear. Jay, you're just gonna have to buckle up, and I know Mike's gonna tell you not to take it to Chris, but that's where I would take it. Install your lockout. Oh, Jay. Yeah, yeah. I'll get to that in a second. Been meaning to ask, did you ever bore, stroke, shake, and bake? If so, down to what and where did you get it forged at? Funny you ask. It's kind of getting to what Jay and I are just about to talk about. So I did not stroke shake and bake. She is still technically a 5.7. We did bore it 20 over, and that just basically gave us a lot more options for pistons. And I'm glad we did bore it 20 over to give us options on those pistons, because right after we got that done, and I went to go ahead and order all the parts, rods, pistons, and all the other stuff, COVID hit. So I'm glad we went with that 20 over, so it gave us a lot more option for pistons. But that's all I did is I got a 6.1 crank, which is the same stroke as a 5.7. I got obviously a little larger piston and forged rods. And where I got all my engine work done is at Clinton Machine Shop in Clinton, Maryland. Chris is a great guy. I would say just keep in mind that they're busy. And that's never Mike may pop in here in a few, but being busy is never an excuse to not communicate or give you a realistic timeline on when things are going to be done. But I did listen to you about Chris. Chris is a great guy. He's awesome. Clinton Machine Shop is awesome. But just like all of the other shops around here, and probably around the country, those machine shops are busy, doing a lot of different things for a lot of different people. Sometimes you just have to do your own due diligence to keep up on things. And yeah, you may get a timeline, and they may not wind up meeting it, but yeah, they were a little lax in communication, even with me, though they had my block for a long time, because I told them I wasn't in a hurry. But yeah, there was very, very little communication. So it is what it is. They did great work. We're gonna find out how great it is come next season, because that engine's going in probably December, January, February, somewhere out one of those 3 months. It just all depends how things work out. I don't think I want to do things over the holidays, so it may be mid-January, early February when we start swapping Shake and Bake's current engine for the forged one. So, Joe, hopefully that answers your question. You need the replacement cam and piston. I hear you, brother. Yeah, we all get a little wrapped around the axle sometimes about things, but it is what it is. Anyone have a 392 cam in a 5.7 with dyno numbers? Player 2, I want to say I've seen a couple people do it on YouTube. I'm not 100% sure. But I have heard in some of the forums, just when I was looking for a cam, the 392 cam makes pretty decent power in the 5.7. What those numbers are, I can't, I don't know off the top of my head. But I would do a couple searches either on YouTube or hit up some of the forums, because I know for a fact there's people that have done it in the forums, because I remember reading about it in the forums. So yeah, check out YouTube, check out the forums. Hopefully you'll get your answer. J, yeah. So both Three Pedal J and Mike Stark. We'll get to Mike Stark here in a few seconds. They take all their stuff to Chris and Clinton Machine Shop in Clinton, Maryland. to get their engine work done, to get their machine work done. All of the other stuff they tend to do themselves. All right, good, Joe. I'm glad I answered your question, buddy. I tried to hit all of it, so hopefully, if you got another question, hey, pop in here with it. Hey, no problem, player two. Jay's saying typically around 410. So that's roughly getting you close to Scat Pack power. There you go, player two. Jay's helping you out. And again, I'm not a mechanic and I'm not a tuner. I haven't been in this game very long, and I'm not an engine builder. So people like three pedal J, wide body Mopar Mike. They have a lot more experience than me, and they are more mechanically, way more mechanically inclined than me. So, like I said, if I can't answer a question, I usually turn to one of those two, and usually they answer them in the chat. So, like I said, if you ask a question and I kind of give you the runaround a little bit, I try not to give people the runaround, but if you hear me stumbling, three pedal J or wide body Mike probably answered it in the chat. Revolts. Ring gapping. Okay, so on your pistons, there are several rings. And what those rings do, Jay, correct me if I'm wrong, what they do is they allow oil to flow through. Right? So everything stays oiled, everything stays happy. When that ring gap closes, then that creates a lot of extra pressure, and it either blows your piston, bends your rods, puts a window in your block, breaks your rods. When the rings come together, something bad is going to happen. And for the 5.7 specifically, what a lot of people talk about is widening. I'm trying to get my fingers here. Is widening that gap to allow more pressure to come through, right? And that's why they say, specifically for the 5.7, if you increase the ring gap, you can run more boost, which is absolutely true. It's been proven on YouTube by a number of folks. But for me, I haven't touched my ring gap. Now, would I recommend other people do that? Do what I'm doing and not gap the rings? I wouldn't do it. But the only reason why I'm doing it, one, is to show the 5.7. One, the 5.7 can handle it. Two, if I was to go in and gap my rings, I would have forged the engine anyway. So that's why I never gapped my rings. But now, like I said, I don't suggest anyone else with their 5.7 go out and put 16, 17 pounds of boost through their 5.7 on the stock bottom end without gapping the rings. So increasing that gap to allow pressure to come through. Like I said, if the ring gap meets, bad things happen. So Revolt, hopefully that answers your question. So Jay hit it too, right? So more boost also creates heat. Yeah. Anyway, heat is also bad. And how it can affect boost on a stock motor. So Revolt, hopefully I answered your question. As you continue to add pressure, you could close that gap. So as you add boost, you can close that gap. That gap's going to close some. And as the engine gets hotter, that gap is going to close. And if it closes all the way, bad things are going to happen. So Revolt, hopefully I answered your question. I'm gonna get getting a lot in the chat here. So as I get down, if I answer your question, let me know. If not, be a little bit more specific, and I'll try and make sure I answer it. All right, Randall Man from North Carolina. Thanks for tuning in, buddy. I appreciate it. Yeah, now 6.4 is totally different from the 5.7. The thing with the 5.7, the top, I'm going to put it in Don speak. The top ring in the 6.4 is much closer to the top of the piston. And what that means is if that gap even closes a little bit, you're going to have problems. It's much easier to blast a piston when your ring is super close to the top of the piston. Where a 5.7, it's a little bit further down, so you got more metal to hold the pressure. Where the 6.4 doesn't have that. That's why a lot of people put drop-ins in the 6.4, and that's what I would suggest if you had a 6.4. Just go to MMX and get some drop-ins. So Wide Body Mike has put over 1,000 horsepower through his drop-in pistons from MMX. So if you got a 6.4, there you go. Okay, there's Jay talking about, again, 6.4 pistons are way towards the top. Hey, Mike, what's going on, buddy? Yeah, Tim, I got one more shot, brother, and I'll get into shake and bake here. I know I'm already into the chat, so here we go. So nines. I got one more chance. Possibly another one through Capital if they stay open through December. I don't know what they're gonna do, but I know MIR is closing after Sunday. Cecil has already closed. Mason-Dixon has already closed. So that's 3 out of 4 tracks are closing this weekend. Now Capital, sometimes Terrace can be pushed to open up, so we'll see what the weather looks like in December. I may get another weekend in, but I'm not expecting it. So what we do is shake and bake and Wide Body Mark. I know Wide Body Mike's gonna come in and like, Don, you're doing totally the wrong thing, and I may be, but so we put the 4,000 stall in the torque converter. We put the one-piece drive shaft, the drive shaft loop, the SFI flex plate. I talked a little bit about this, a little bit about it last week. So again, we got the big stall torque converter in there, and we're gonna run it on Sunday, possibly Saturday if Capital opens. We may get 2 days in, but definitely don't expect Dave to get me a new tune this weekend. So we'll run the same tune. I do have two. He gave me 2 tunes, and that's before I put the torque converter in. But I got 2 tunes for me to try. So we're gonna, if we can, we'll get a couple runs in Saturday if it doesn't rain at Capital, and then hopefully the rain holds off Saturday night, and we get some good passes in on Sunday at MIR. So that's my hope. I don't know if we'll get the 9s, but we're definitely gonna try. Nope, Timothy, the 345, the 5.7, the rings are a little bit further down, so there's a little bit more space between the top of the ring, top of the piston and the first ring than there is in the 392. The 392, it's real close to the top of the piston. So that's why you can push more boost. I'm saying 8 to 10 is probably where you're safe on a 5.7, but a 6.4, I wouldn't go past 8 at all. 8. I've seen a lot of people run 8 and be safe on a 392 on the 6.4, but I wouldn't go any further than 8 pounds. Right. Wide Body Mike, detonation is a killer. Detonation is the engine killer. And yes, E85 does help with that as well, because it runs cooler than gas. So it does give you does give you a little saving grace by running E85. All right, answered your question. Thanks for Volt. Appreciate it, buddy. And I got almost 130,000 miles on the motor, Jay. So being that I didn't gap the rings, at that point they probably gapped themselves. And that's the thing, Jay. I am super interested to open up the current engine and see. That's going to be. We're definitely going to do that. So with the teardown of this motor and moving at least some of the parts over to the new motor. I'm not sure exactly. I know the heads. I may get a new cam. Just yeah, new cam, new lifters, and all of the expendables, water pump, oil pump, timing set. All of that's going to be new. But definitely interested to see what these pistons and rods and everything everything looks like when we pull it out. Ooh, living in California, man, that's tough. That's especially if you want to mod your car, man. It's tough to live in California. I don't know. I think once you mess with the internals, whether you, player two, I'd go to your dealership and ask them, hey, if I get if I buy a 392 cam, does that come with a carb sticker for California? You think it would pass smog? Again, you're changing the internal workings of your engine when you swap a cam, no matter what cam you go with. Once you start messing with the intake and exhaust, which that's what the cam does, along with the other pieces, right? The cam, the crank, the rockers, lifters, all of that, right? Once you start messing with all of that, you mess with the emissions of your vehicle. But I would go to the dealership and ask them before you do it, especially if you live in California. Tim, Tim, you should move those 10 miles, man. I know my shake and bake came up for emissions too. I got to do it before mid-December, I think. So I'm gonna have to stop by Mike, make sure everything's cleaned up, and go run to the ODB2 thing real quick and plug it in. Is the 5 speed? So I'm guessing you're talking about the Get Rag Revolt. If you swap to a 70, there's a lot to it going from the Get Drag to HP 70. There's a lot to it. There's a lot to it. Um, but you can definitely build those transmissions too. I've seen them. Trying to remember. God, I can't remember his YouTube channel, but he's got a built one and does pretty good. Uh, Going for a street build. Okay, 2016. Yeah, and a 16 you should have an HP 7. You should have an 8 speed if it's a 16. The V6s, I'm not sure what's in the V6s to be honest. That's a good question. But yeah, Revolt, you should have an HP 70. Yeah, Jay, I'm gonna get a new timing stuff and a new front cover as well. I'm going all new on those wearable parts. He might gift it to me. That'd be very nice, Jay. I would appreciate that. Oh yeah, Mike, I'm definitely replacing the timing set. VVT gears don't really wear unless you're me. Minimum, Mike saying tensioner and guide. They're actually cheap. Yeah, yep. Timing stuff is fairly cheap. So like I said, water pump, oil pump, all the timing stuff is going to be all new. Looking into a couple of different cams. Probably going to go with a different cam. Looking at getting new lifters if I can find them. Get some new lifters and just make sure this engine's nice and fresh for when we put it in. All right, there's 237. Yeah, if you're in California, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to touch California because there's too many nitnoid rules and laws in California. Yeah, Hellcat manual lifters. Yeah, they call them Hellcat lifters. Yep, but they're just basically non-MDS lifters. Uh, Donzel, what about a TA? Is it a 5.7 or a 6.4 TA? So it has a 5 speed in it. Interesting. Hey, Revolt, talk to. Is yours all wheel drive too? The Pursuit? Uh, Revolt, is it all wheel drive? That's the question. That's going to be another question. But like I said, there's a lot to swapping out that the HP 70 for a 5 speed. All right, so these sixes sound like they have the HP 70 as well. Manual lifters. So okay, Donzel, what are you asking about the TA for a 5.7? What's your actual question? Did I miss it? Oh, it's rear wheel drive. Okay. Yeah, I always got mine from the dealership. So all my lifters came from the dealership. So they're stock Dodge Mopar lifters. Rear wheel 375. Oh, is it good to mod? 100%. You have this really the TA. All it is a, if I'm not mistaken, it's a different hood. Uh, the speedometer stuff is white. It's got the TA stickers. I think there's tire differences, but really the engine is exactly the same. It's the same 5.7. I don't think there's any performance mods that are different from an RT to a TA. I think the engine's exactly the same, if I'm not mistaken. So Donzel, yeah, 100% it's good to mod. Yep. Short travel lifters are needed for what we're doing. Okay. Definitely a 5-speed. All right. Hopefully, Donzel, hopefully I answered your question, man. Jay saving him some money. Yeah, angry. I heard the same thing, man. Is the stock Mopar lifters are good enough and the best ones to go with. The non MDS ones. Yeah, Timothy, I knew there was some kind of suspension stuff and some kind of, visual stuff, but I don't think they did anything special to the engine. I think it's the same 5.7 that's in the RT. I don't think they did any engine performance mods. AED makes lifter trays, and it looks like they're going to be doing billet fuel rails. Nice. I love AED, man. Ever since I put those AED arms on, I wish I'd have went with them from the get go. All right, you're welcome, Donzel. You're welcome, buddy. How do stock converters hold up to aggressive cams? That's a good question. Um, because I already had my car cammed with the 270. When I had the HP70 in, I already had my car cammed when I went to the high stall torque converter, and it wasn't. I ran it for a few months, maybe 4 or 5 months. I really can't remember, uh, but I didn't have any. I didn't have any problems. Um, I didn't have any problems with it. Angry, you got it, man. That's for sure. You're Yeah. When you go at an aggressive cam, you're gonna want a bigger stall torque converter, typically. But like he said, if you don't, your tuner's not gonna be tuner's not gonna be very happy with you. Uh, but they'll make it work. Yeah, angry. Like I said, once I go to the new engine, all of the wearable parts, I'm gonna try and replace all those as much as I can. 1320 stock torque converter is all that's needed for the HP70 guys. There you go. Uh, yep, that's what I'm saying, Jay. I've been running the stock rockers too. Yeah, buddy. AED lifter trays aren't coming back. Okay. Blown Dart, what's going on, buddy? Thanks for chiming in. I appreciate it. Fitment issue. Yeah, buddy. Mike coming in. Demon torque converter handled 1200 power just fine. In the 90, it's just his clutches left the chat. That's for sure. Jay, Jay going for them expensive parts. Would you recommend a novice mechanic doing a cam job? Me personally, it again, if it's beyond my technical know-how, or if it's beyond something that I think it would seriously screw my engine up, I get a professional to do it. So me, I would not take on a cam job. There's a lot to it. I would get someone to do it. But if you're feeling froggy, hey, take that leap. But just make sure you do your research. You know exactly how to do everything, line everything up, and yeah, so you don't mess anything up. Mopar connection deal, they can't keep up. They can't keep up. All right, talking about the cost of parts. Yeah, Mike's saying it's up to your comfort level. Yeah, if you feel comfortable, do it. Like I said, do your research, watch some videos. There's plenty of YouTube videos out there of people doing cams. As a matter of fact, I want to say there's a few instructional videos out there on how to do a cam. Just if you're gonna do it on your own, do your research and make sure you know what you're doing before you do it. All right, Angry. You want me to test out the two step? Two step was in the plans, just not right now. But a two step is in the plans. Eventually, it's just we got to get down the road a little bit further. I got to save up. Got to save up for. I'm already saving up for the parts I need for the engine swap. So two step is coming down the road. A wet nitrous kit is coming down the road. So there's big plans down the road. It's just they're down the road. Good question, Jay. Mike saying stock rockers are fun. Yeah, that's the thing, Revolt. Once you start doing internal stuff, that's when you can screw stuff up. Now, a cam job isn't the hardest thing in the world, but it's not the easiest thing in the world either. But like I said, just do your research, check things out, make sure you know what you're doing before you do it. There you go. Mike's letting you know. Hey, go to the forums, go to YouTube. Like I said, there's videos out there, instructional videos that walk you through doing a cam. Yeah, Angry's bringing up a good point. Don't do it on your daily driver. If you're gonna learn, don't learn on your daily driver because if you screw it up, then you lose your daily driver. Do it on a project car. Let's get another video going here. Speaking of emissions testing, ha. Yeah, see, Revolt, you gotta have the right tools too. That's something I didn't say is not only you gotta have the confidence and the research and the learning how to do it. Also, you're gonna need the right tools to do it as well. HHP has it for 150. Not sure what you're talking about, Jay. No, the backup engine is not stock. It's all forged. It's bored out. We talked about this earlier. It's bored out 20 over. It's got forged pistons, rods, and crankshaft. So it's not stock. And I got all of the engine work and the short block. Matter of fact, I got the short block engine work and the short block all done at Clinton Machine Shop. Yeah, angry, but I thought he had someone do his cam. I don't think he did it on his own. Maybe he did. I can't remember. It's been a while. All right. Helby's getting close. Helby's getting close, slowly but sure. Fire suppression system, yeah, buddy. Yeah, Jay. Revolt. Like I said, check out the forums, check out YouTube. Make sure you know what you're doing before you do it. Some bush lighting tools. Yeah, buddy, go for it, man. Go for it. There you go. Mike's throwing you some knowledge, Revolt. Got to make sure the timing's right. Yeah, Jay. I hope your stuff gets back too, buddy. But you know how you know the deal on shipping and parts, especially nowadays, man. It's tough. There you go, Revolt. There you go, buddy. Hey, document. That's really why I started doing my YouTube. One, I was racing anyway, so why not document it and put it up on YouTube? That's how I started. Mike's going through the cam process, so Revolt, print this chat out, so you have some so at least some little notes to go by. Yeah, buddy, that's what it's all about. Research, baby. Mike, race car problems and drugs would have been cheaper. And that is probably 100% true. Did I enjoy MIR MSHH? I didn't go because the car was down at that point. I can't remember what I was waiting on. I was waiting on something. I think it was getting the transmission. Was it getting the transmission in or getting the TCM back? I think it was getting the TCM back. I didn't get to go. I didn't go to the Modern Street Hemi Shootout at MIR. I didn't go. But I know. I want to say Wide Body Mike, and I think Jay, you went too, right? I think you guys went and watched. Everyone's cheaper than a blower. Yeah, we've been saying that for a long time. We all should have just shut our cars up and went to drugs. It'd have been a lot cheaper. A Reddit thread for sure. Race car problems. That's what it is. When you get into this horsepower, it's something's gonna break. It's just the way it's a fact of life. Something's gonna happen. Don't enjoy sidelining. Yeah, me either, Mike. That's part of the reason why I didn't go. Is I'm not one to just watch everyone else race. It makes me want to race that much more, and it just pisses me off. But anyone can make it if Magic Johnson. All right, buddy. Yeah, that's what it was. It was the TCM. I was waiting for the TCM to come back. 2012 Victory Junction Challenger. Nice, nice. All right. Oh my gosh. All right, we got 18 minutes. And we're at the end of the chat. 600 wheel out of a 5.7 and reliable, 100%. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. I was over 600 all last year, running like 10 pounds of boost. And I ran all last year. And we ran a lot and we ran hard last year. All right, Blowing Dart. I'll see you next year. Yes, sir. I'll be ready next year. Long as nothing's broke, I'll be there next year. But yeah, 600 horsepower is absolutely 100% doable and reliable. Yes, sir. Get you a pro charger and run 10 pounds of boost. All right, Jay. Yeah, Mike, I'm probably gonna go the one down in Florida for a couple reasons. One, my in-laws are in Florida. They're snowbirds. They go from Tennessee to Florida every year, and they're there till usually end of March, beginning of April. I have friends down there. My wife has a friend down there, and I got a couple friends down there now. So yeah, that's why we. That's another reason we go to Florida every year. Jay's looking for another driver. Revolt because they're afraid to tell you to go more, uh, and then so there's always something can happen. No matter how many pounds of boost you're running, something can always happen. And if they tell you 6 pounds of boost and nothing happens, they're good. If you run 7 pounds of boost and say, I don't know, just throwing it out there, you bend a rod or something happens, they say, I told you should have ran 6 pounds of boost. But I've seen many, many, many people on YouTube and at the track run 10 pounds of boost in a 5.7, 100% reliable. Well, I won't say 100% because nothing's 100%, but you can run reliably 8 to 10 pounds of boost. The going rate on the internet for a 5.7 is 6 to 8, which is the same going rate for the 6.4 is 6 to 8 pounds of boost. But my experience, I ran 10 pounds of boost all last year, so you can get away with 10 pounds of boost. Again, you're playing with boost, so you're pushing a lot of pressure through the engine, so things can happen. I'm not saying they can't, and I'm not going to say it's 100% reliable, but uh, once you start modding your engine, you're taking a chance that something can happen. All right, that's just life. That's just the way it is. But like I said, I ran 10 pounds of boost all last year, no problem. Oh yeah, that's right. You got the grandbaby coming in the end of March. Yeah, angry. Are you sure it's 11 pounds? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I know Shake and Bake's kind of a freak of a nature, but that car has handled everything I've thrown at it and continues to handle everything I throw at it. Um, I mean, we keep upping the boost, and she just keeps running. Angry, you bring up a good point there, buddy. That's where things really go wrong is when you rush. When you rush, humans forget things when they rush. It's fact. It happens. And it's happened to a lot of people in this chat, as a matter of fact. It's happened to some other people that's in our chat in IG. It's happened to them. They rushed, forgot things, and stuff happened. So yes, make sure take your time, sit back, make sure you have the right part, because I've ordered the wrong part and paid for it. I mean, I got my money back for the part, but Mike had already torn the engine apart and was ready to put the cam in, thinking I had the right cam, and I had the wrong cam. So make sure you have the right parts. Make sure you're using the right tools. Make sure you have the right stuff. All of that. Yeah. Take your time, especially Revolt if you're doing it on your own. Just make sure you have your ducks in a row before you even get started. And it is in the tuning, 100%. Angry, I agree with you there. It is 100% in the tuning that's going to keep you going. Yeah. So yeah, once you in Revolt, once you throw a cam in there, you're going to need a tune. So you might want to start looking for which tuning hardware you're going to use, Diablo or HP, and start looking for your tuner if you don't have one already. Because once you put the cam in, you're going to need a tune. You're 100% going to need a tune. All right, there's Mike. 6 pounds, safe zone on pump gas. So you did the 373 gear swap. Nice, nice. I did mine earlier, and it just didn't seem to do anything for me. It didn't help me any. It didn't hurt me any. It didn't help me any either. So I just went back to the 309s. Yeah, Angry, you got it, buddy. Murphy's Law, man. That's it. 100%. What can go wrong will go wrong. 100%. Because they go from Tennessee, where it's snowing, to Florida, where it's nice and warm. Floridians call those people snowbirds. So anyone coming from up north, so where my in-laws live in Tennessee, they consistently get inches, if not feet, of snow up in the mountains, of Tennessee. So that's why they go to Florida. Oh gosh, I'm losing the chat. Hang on. Stroking 6'4" a good idea. Don't see a lot of that going on. There's a lot of people that stroke out 6'4s. There are a lot of people that stroke out 6'4s. 100%. Yep, they take it from the 392 to the 426 all the time. Yep. Drop ins into the 6'4" or stroke it out to a 426. Most people stroke it out to a 426. Yep, Mike's throwing some knowledge there. If you want to go boost, don't go bigger than 411. And y'all correct me if I'm wrong. It's all about the rod angle when it comes to bigger than a 411. The rod angle gets a little crazy, and it's not good for boost. Revolt, you might not see it, but there's a lot of people, stroke out their 6'4" to 426. You want to be the RT 400? All right, brother. And Mike, keep it a 392 and just pass all the strokers like he does. So I do have 1320 springs in the rear, but I didn't do the sway bar swap. Um, eh, did they help or not? I don't know, but it was I only paid 120 bucks. Was it 120? 60 a piece? I think it was 60 a piece. 120 bucks for them, and that's through the dealership. Oh no, I don't have a 6.4 build. Mine's still a 5.7. Still 5.7. Yep. I didn't go BGE, though everybody beat me up about it and kicked me in the nuts about it. I stayed 5.7. We just boarded out 20 over, and I got the 6.1 forged crank. Drag shocks. I don't. I have the stock Bilstein shocks. 130,000 130,000 miles later, I still have the original Bilstein shocks, both front and rear. Um, yeah, I may go with new springs and actual drag shocks here in the future for sure. Thoughts on new crate motors Dodge coming out with? Those V6s are what the V6s are, right? I'm a V8 guy, so I'm not going to say too much on the V6s. Yeah, they make a lot of power. You can make a lot of power out of those V6s, 100%. Um, not knocking those engines at all. No, I'm just a V8 guy. Now the V8s they're coming out with, eh, can you do it cheaper on your own? I think you can do it cheaper. I think you can do it cheaper on your own. Starting with a bare block or a short block from someone like HHP or MMX. I think you can do it cheaper on your own in aftermarket. I have not dealt with Petty Garage. Yeah, for sure. If you're doing anything suspension wise, upper control arms, lower control arms, trailing arms, AAD is the way to go, 100%. I learned my lesson twice. Twice I learned my lesson. Finally went with the AAD stuff. I still got a couple BMR things on the car. Eventually, those are going to go too. Yeah, I like MMX. They got great customer service. HHP for parts is also good for customer service for parts. But I would definitely go if you have the choice of going MMX. I would go MMX before Arrington and National Speed. Yeah, already blown dart. Yep, definitely hit up MMX. Yep, like that's what I plan on going with eventually when I can afford it. Along with everything else I want to buy new, right? It's crazy. But while we're 3 minutes out, so here we are. I know y'all see it. Stark's performance and maintenance. So if you are in the DMV, so the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, and you need something done to your car, no matter the make, the model, the year, uh, Mike can do it for you. So let me see. Let me grab the shirt. It's got the address and everything. So back up just a little bit. There you go. Boop. Get it straight a little bit. There you go. Up in Essex, Maryland. So if you need anything done to your car and you're in the DMV, hey, please support a guy that's opening up his own shop. Literally, he's going full time at the new shop. I want to say next week or the week after. I can't remember. I know he's moving everything to the new shop. So all of his tools and all of that good stuff, he's moving to the new shop this week and next week. So I look forward to him being there probably full time next week ish. get the front control arms. Yep. Yep. Well, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, you definitely need to do the get rag swap. That'll get you out of the one wheel peel. That's for sure. Yep. You gotta get rid of that rear end for sure. That's what I thought. That's what I thought he said in the chat was like next week. Next week he goes full time at the new shop. There you go. 306 or 373. See, that's why I like having Mike and Jay in the chat. They can answer the questions I can't. Because, like I said, both Jay and Mike have been in this game for a lot longer than I have. I've only been in it really deep into it the last 4 or 5 years. Mike's been in it way long, and so is Jay. Both of them have. So they got a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience with this stuff. The address to Mike's shop is, there we go, 100 Riverside Drive, Essex, Maryland, 21221. Boom. Oh, Addie's Dodge in Myrtle Beach. I did the same thing, Mike. I thought he was asking for Mike's address. Mike's address. Yeah, and if you guys are on IG and we don't hit your question, or we don't fully answer your question, or I don't fully answer your question, if you're on IG, you can hit me up on IG, and if I didn't answer your question, I will find the answer, and I'm probably going to go to Wide Body Mark and 3-Pedal J to get the answer. So if you're on IG, you can ask those two fellas questions as well. They're good at getting back with people, probably better than I am. I'm a little slow sometimes. Because I do get a little overwhelmed now. It is beginning to get a little overwhelming with all of the stuff that comes in, but I do try and get to everyone on IG. All right, so y'all know the deal. I like to keep this to an hour, and we're just over an hour. Hey, I appreciate everyone tuning into the channel, everyone tuning into the chat. Everyone watching the videos. Yeah, Steve White is a great guy. That's who did. They actually put my cam and long tube headers in and did my initial tune. So the initial tune, I'll just leave at that because I wound up going with somebody else for tuning. But Yeah, Steve White, he's got a lot of knowledge too. He's been in the game for a while. But back to where I was. I appreciate everyone tuning in. Really, really do. I appreciate everyone supporting the channel. Because like I said, everything I make off of YouTube goes right back into Shake and Bake. I can promise you that. Matter of fact, more than what I make, 100% more than what I make on YouTube goes into Shake and Bake. I guarantee you that. But every little bit helps, and you guys, each and every one of y'all are helping out by watching the videos, going through the ads. I know it's painful to go through some of those ads, but I definitely appreciate it. Again, Shake and Bake appreciates it because all the money goes right back into her. But everybody have a happy Thanksgiving. Have a great weekend. Be safe if you're out on the roads, because there's going to be a lot of people out on the roads this weekend. It's just Thanksgiving. It's a holiday weekend. There's going to be people everywhere. So just take your time. Be safe. And we'll catch you on the next one, folks. Y'all have a great one. Till next time. Adios.